Alright, we're back. Unfortunately, I had to spend the last few days busy with stuff, moving from Dallas to back home. So we are now officially back. Hopefully I can try to get some more videos out. I already have, ideas and whatnot. I posted an Omega video over a week ago. The audio was muted because I'm a fantastic YouTuber, so I'm going to spend another 15, 20, 30 minutes basically reiterating everything I was talking about. To summarize everything, Physical Omega is probably the most ideal kit for an extreme unit we've seen in a while. And this is, when it comes to extreme units, this is exactly what they need. They need tons of support floating around. Because usually what they do with super class units is they'll make them very generically good. And then sometimes they'll throw a little bit of support on them. But they're usually just generically good, and when you run like a super class S team, a lot of the units can kind of hold themselves accountable, I guess. Not really the word I want to use, but that's kind of the word. They essentially can do what they need to do by themselves. The problem with extreme units is usually extreme units, at least recently, they have been pretty good recently. But the issue is usually the units around them. Because even like certain sub-EZAs don't really cut it. I mean, for Physical Omega, it's a little bit different. Because, I mean, he got one of the best sub-EZAs we've seen in a while, which is this guy right here. This guy's amazing, which we'll get into all of his teams and stuff in a second. But usually the extreme units themselves are good, but the units around them suck. That's usually what ends up happening. Yeah, like right now, I think we have a good set of units. Let me make a tab real quick to get the other units in here. So, I mean, in this past celebration, or in this celebration we have right now, we got 2 extreme tech units, which I don't know if this has happened before, where we have 2 of the same units kind of in the same celebration like this, separated like this. I know this was the first time right here, but in Golden Frieza and Broly, which they're not on Omega's team, I don't think. Well, Golden Frieza is, but not Broly, I believe. No. So these guys don't. Well, at least Broly doesn't give support, and then Golden Frieza does not give support in his kit. Changes orbs on his 3rd turn, but that's mainly for Gogeta, who I mean, ironically, this Gogeta is extreme. He supports. He gives defensive support, and then when he does his active, he gives 230% defense support, which is just insane. Just so I don't get too off topic. My point is when they release extreme units that give a lot of support like this Omega does, it makes their team not only just run better, but if like future units come out, if they keep following the formula of just giving more support to extreme type units, well then it just brings back some of these teams. Like, I think Omega's team is fantastic. Like, Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, and GT bosses is great. I mean, you hit all of the extreme units. Thank you, G-Force. And even like, with his domain, I almost said Dokkan field. That's not what I want to call it. His domain gives all 3 of his categories attack 25%, and then increases damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 20%, 10% more with Earth protecting heroes, Fuse Fire GT heroes. Incredible domain. Incredible domain. Because I think the last, as far as domain goes, the last one we got was it? Yeah, it was Cell. And Cells is just tournament participants, which I mean is his category, right? But it's just the support for the teams that he's on. This one, where's it at? This one is not only an attack support for the units on your team, but it's also basically a debuff for any anybody you go up against. So, or not anybody, but you know, certain units you go up against. And if you're going up against super class, that means, you know, it's 20% right here. And the combination of this just allows you to do so much damage on top of when you are running a full extreme class team, which is like on his team you are, and on some of these teams you can. Like full power you can do extreme type with. I mean, Shadow Dragon Saga, nah, not really. But Battle of Fate, Worldwide Chaos, like, you can do extreme type teams with those. And we're talking 70% attack right here. And if you have a full, if you're running his team, essentially is what this means. If you're running his team, or after you super attack 5 times, or perform 5 attacks, sorry, you can create the domain. So essentially, turn 1, you're giving your team attack support, key support for 2 turns. I'm not even getting into like all of his other stuff. This is just when you load into the game and with his domain, then you give your team 25% attack support, and then you're letting him do more damage to the boss. His team does so much damage. Like, it's ridiculous how much damage he does. Like, oh, what's that? That Supreme Magnificent Battle fight against Int Gohan. Right? I mean, him and where's he at? Tech Sin. I mean, I made a video about it. These two can just solo that event. I mean, I'm not gonna pull up the exact video here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the exact video actually. But I mean, like, look at this, right? Like, this is the best extreme team you can do right now. I mean, this is just, it's just one of those things that it's just such a weird thing you can do with because his domain just does so much. Or gives you so much damage, right? You're just able to, I mean, as long as you have an item, right? Just eviscerate the event. And to be fair, that Gohan does not have a lot of health, but I mean, that's you know, not to get too off topic. Essentially, what I'm trying to, before I move on to my next point, is that his team is insane. And that's just this part. I mean, like, regardless of this, right? Regardless of these 3 categories, right? Just this is insane. GT bosses is already covered. This is basically 220% with this, right? You're already covered by that. And then Inhuman Eats and Power Absorption, usually most of them get covered by these 2, right? Most of the androids are on Power Absorption are on Worldwide Chaos. And then some of the big bosses on Inhuman Deeds are on Battle of Fate. That's just how it is. Because if we look at Inhuman Deeds right here, this guy's Battle of Fate. The only ones you're not really going to see are like some of the movie characters, right? But I believe Zamasu is on Battle of Fate. He's not. He's on Worldwide Chaos, right? I don't think he's on Battle of Fate. Oh, he is. Yeah. If it's not like a movie character, you're covered. You're covered by what's that? By Worldwide Chaos or Battle of Fate with these 2 leader skills. GG bosses is hit by Shadow Dragons mostly. Right. I mean, your other ones that aren't hit are like Baby and 17, right? You have like your your Super 17s, which I mean, like, if this guy Super Easy A's one day, like, he'll be super good. This guy boosted was super good. I don't think this guy's on Worldwide Chaos, is he? Oh, he's on Battle of Fate. I guess that makes sense. I don't think this guy is though, right? Oh, they are on Battle of Fate. Okay. Yeah, Omega's leader skill is just awesome. Like, it's just a ridiculous leader skill. I guess to further go into his kit, and also to explain this too, he also gives crit support and then Rainbow Orb changes he Rainbow Orb changes for 1 turn. Sorry, which is super good. And I mean, for just existing, right? Key 3, attack defense 30%, massive stats. Gets 1 key per key sphere obtained, really good. 50% damage reduction, very good. Randomly changes Fizz or into Rainbow Key Sphere, so he double orb changes for 1 turn, and then just Rainbow Orb changes after the fact. When he collects a Rainbow Key Sphere, extreme class allies defense 70%, very, very good. Just this, right, is very good. But then plus additional damage reduction 10% for characters who also belong in GT bosses category. Or 2 turns. 2 turns. What this means is if you're running his team, you constantly have 140% defense support for just floating around, right? And if you're on GT bosses, you have 140% support and 20% damage reduction. So really, like, the struggle with this team is you really want to have an Omega turn 1 to kind of get this started, and then make sure there's another one in turn 2. If you have both in slot 2, or 1 slot 2, 1 slot 3, or 1 turn 1, 1 turn 3, then you're you're in a really bad spot. I mean, there's ways to play around it. Like, if you have 1 on turn 1, 1 on turn 3, float the first one on turn 1 if you can. And then turn 2 comes around, you don't have 1, but you still have the support up, and then turn 3 you get it back. And then turn 4 is when you can kind of get back in the rhythm of stuff. That's easier said than done, obviously. Some of these bosses are just ruthless, but that's just an idea. When attacking, he gets 150% attack, which is very good. When keys 18 or more, gets another 150% when attacking. Defense 150 when receiving an attack. Crits at 24 key, which is that's just silly. That's just silly. Like, when he is already doing so much damage, just giving up, basically doubling his attack stat. Which, if you guys don't know, crits, you get, whatever attack stat you get, if you're gonna crit, just take that number and then double it. That's your actual true attack stat. And then a little fun fact: if it's effective against all types, and it's 50%. So if you hit a 40 million attack stat, attack effective against all types, then it's a 60 million attack stat. A 40 million crit attack stat is actually an 80 million attack stat. If you ever want to think of it like that, because I've seen Omega hit 50, 60 million. So that's, in reality, it's 100 and 120 million attack stats. Right, which is just insane to think about. And then just this, right? Just this with the domain is, I'm already set, right? You got me. You got me. I'm sold. I was sold when I saw this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was sold when I saw the name. I see LR Omega Shenron. You got me. All right, I'm spending money. But then he has a great chance of nullifying unarmed super attacks, which aren't super common, right? But then he just guaranteed nullifies it at 70% or less, which is the same thing that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta has, except for Ki Blast super attacks, which are more common. But that's still so good. Like, it's still so good. And I feel like it was a big issue back in the day. Whenever they actually made the change for this, for having different kinds of super attacks, I feel like it was a problem because everything was just what is it called? It's like the neutral super attack, where it's like everything, right? They don't have, like, characters don't have like a nullify for just those kinds of basic attacks. You either have unarmed weapon or beam or a Ki Blast super attacks that usually have like a nullifying counter to them. There was a problem back in the day. Like Ted Gogeta would have counter unarmed super attacks, but there was no boss that did unarmed super attacks, right? Like, that was a big issue. But now we actually have bosses that have a plethora of different kinds of attacks. So now you're seeing this more often. You're seeing the Gogeta Ki Blast more often, right? That's I like, if you show me this in like 2023, I'd have been like, this sucks. Like yes, this effect is good, but like, this just isn't gonna. You're never gonna see it. No, you actually see this, and it does a fuck ton of damage. That's the best part about this. It's even like before you attack, it does a lot of damage. But God forbid you actually get a super attack in. You get. I mean, he doesn't even raise attack on his super attack effects, which actually I didn't even know that. That's actually insane. I thought he raised attack and defense on his 18 key at least. But I mean, still, paired with this and the support, dude, and you have 24 key, dude. This hits. You're killing the boss. Whatever phase you're on, he's just dead. And then after performing 5 or more attacks in battle, key and crit support for extreme class, and then Rainbow Orb changing. He double Rainbow Orb changes from now on. He basically he basically gets this back. It'd be awesome if he got this back, but that's, that's asking for a little much, right? And like, it's just, this is ideal extreme class kit design. You have a domain, you have a team-wide support for your team, for your team. And then you also have basically a rotation by rotation support. And it's super easy to get. Like, it's not like, oh, you have to run a certain amount of units on your team. Like certain amount of categories on your team. It's you play the game. Is what this is. When this should just say when you collect orbs. Like when you fucking load in with this character is what this should say. Because with the amount of rainbow orbs that you're gonna make with this character on the field, you're not missing this. Oh, and if you're worried about him not making enough rainbow orbs, guess what? You also have this guy who you are running with him. That's just a fact. It's just a fact of nature. And there are other rainbow orb. I mean, this guy rainbow orb changes, or your orb changes at least. I don't know. Too many characters do too many things. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. This guy's insane. I think he is genuinely one of my favorite design units ever. I've always liked extreme units because they've always either flavored them a certain way that I like them, which I like when they make a unit have flavor in a positive light, unlike Megetta. But anyways, they either have some sort of flavor to them, or they do so much because their team does so little. The only thing with this guy is like he does so much, and then they just buffed GT bosses, and then they gave us a good Inhuman Deeds character in Golden Frieza, and then this Rose is also just super good. Tag Broly is runnable. I mean, this guy's runnable. This is crazy. This guy's runnable in some of these events. I mean, Power Absorption doesn't have a lot, but you do have potential characters that can show. We don't have an LR Buhan, right? We don't have LR Buhan. This not referring to this guy. We don't have LR Buhan. You know, unfortunately, like the only problem is that Kid Buu wouldn't be on this team. I don't think, because he's not on Power Absorption. Is he? Yeah, he's not. No. So we wouldn't have like LR Kid Buu on this team, that would about round out all the extreme units we need, right? So when that never happens, you know, well we could be like, oh, why isn't he on Omega's team? That would be okay. I mean, there's not. I don't know if there's much else for me to say. I mean, like I said, his super tag effects are really good. Is there a nitpick? Is there a nitpick that I can do? I wish he gave defense on his domain. Oh, you know what? Actually, I do remember saying this in the muted Omega video. I'm actually glad they did not give him defense on this, and the reason for that is because we probably wouldn't have this. This defense would be tied to the domain, and it only being up for 3 turns means like if a fight goes on longer than it should, then you would lose out on your defensive support. Like, yeah, it sucks you don't have this extra attack, right? But I mean, first off, he's already doing a fuck ton of damage, so usually you're not going to be worrying about damage. But also to help your units stay on curve with the difficulty of the event, this is better just being on the character. Right? So, I mean, that, yes, it does, like, why not both? All right, sure. Yeah, we could have both. It, you know, it's just a matter of balance at that point, and I don't really want to get into discussions of, you know, balance or anything. But that's kind of just what it is. Greatly lowers stack of defense on 12 key, and then he also disables enemies' action once within a turn. Very, very good on 18 key. Also, this is an AoE, which is Also cool. Amazing leak set as well. I mean, I don't think I have much else to say. Make more extreme units like this. Golden Frieza is fine. Right? Golden Frieza and Broly are fine. But for big celebration extreme units like this, where we're having like whole fucking celebrations based around a certain thing, like GT bosses, make them like this. Make them like this. That's all. Thank you for watching.